It's the Mike Francesa podcast on the Bet Rivers Network.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast, brought to you by the folks at Bet Rivers on the Bet Rivers Network and wherever you go for your podcast needs, and also for your wagering needs. Remember, it's Bet Rivers in New York and New Jersey, play Sugar House in Connecticut. So we finally got the verdict, and Aaron Judge stays with the Yankees. So status quo is maintained. Now, all the Yankees have done is bring Rizzo back, bring Judge back. They still need to tinker with this team, improve this team in ways if they want to compete with the Astros and get better and try to see if they can finally get back to a World Series and maybe win a World Series. I know those seem to be distant thoughts these days, but that is the quest as far as I remember it in Yankee land. Now, am I surprised he's a Yankee? No. I had no idea whether he was going to go to, it sounds like it was among the Yankees, the Padres, and the Giants. I didn't know where he was going to wind up. I had no clue, but the odds are always with the Yankees because I just think status quo usually is the favorite in these situations. Now, he didn't sign the deal last year. He gets $130 million more for his efforts off his great season, so kudos to him. He'll be 31 on opening day, so this contract is an extreme contract. It's a bad contract, okay? The Yankees will pay dearly on this contract in years 7, 8, and 9. I don't think there's any question about that. He will not be the same player because nobody is. You don't know how he's going to age, how gracefully he's going to age, how productively he's going to age, but the bottom line is he's had injury problems, and he's going to be 31 next late April. So there's no question. 9 years, $360 million. The Yankees went way past where they wanted to go, but I understand why they did it. They made their fans happy. The Yankee fans are smiling today. They wanted their player back. It's their player. They want him to be there and be only a Yankee, so they have that now. So for those who need that, they got it. Now it's about building a winning team, and the Yankees have work to do. And I think they need to be a little extreme in this regard. If they had lost Judge, it would have become extreme without any other inertia because they would have had to do a makeover, had no choice. Now they need to do a makeover where they can with certain people being in the middle of the mix, especially Rizzo and Judge. But to me, whether it's sending Torres packing, finding some inventive way to move Donaldson. Okay, I don't think anyone would touch Hicks. You know I've never been a Hicks fan. The Yankees were hoping years ago. He was a Cashman favorite, there's no question about it. They were hoping he was going to somehow blossom into a lesser version of Bernie Williams, in that they could have a dependable, very good center fielder who would hit some home runs, get some walks, and maybe not be the average hitter Bernie was, but be a guy who was a very, very useful and solid player every day. He didn't become that. He's never become that. And now he has fallen dramatically. Now you don't even want him on the team, but you're stuck with him right now. The Yankees obviously need to set the table better for Judge. I like Judge batting in the middle of the lineup, batting third, and putting table setters in front of him. Guys who can do the job, guys who can get on base. The Yankees need to balance the lineup, and they need to balance the left-right. They don't have the dynamic closer, but they do have some very good arms in the pen that they can develop. So I don't worry that much about the pen at the start of the season. I might worry about the pen at the end of the season because if they don't have one dependable guy, it's very difficult to get outs in the postseason. But the Yankees now have to figure out where their starting pitching is going to come from as far as the depth. And they need to balance off this lineup in a very, very creative way. And they haven't been in any way creative in years to come. And to me, they need to get far more left-handed than they've been. It's just something they've gotten away from. They've gotten way too right-handed, and I think it has hurt them. They've gotten too many players who were home run or nothing, and way too many from the right side. So obviously they need to find somebody to fill the hole in left field. They need to find somebody who can lead off, and they need to change the overall way they go about their business. They've been in this rut for too long. Even last year when things were going incredibly well, it was the same team. They've had that same look for years, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work on the level that you need it to work. Does it get them to the playoffs? Yes. But let's be honest, they can get to the playoffs. We know that. When you're spending the kind of money they spend, you have to be able to get to the playoffs. But it hasn't proven good enough, and Houston goes out and continues, even after winning another World Series, they continue to go out and improve their team. They don't sit still. They tinker, and what they do that the Yankees don't do is they bring good young players into the mix. Think about it. They've added Alvarez, Tucker, Pena, three of the best young players in baseball. What have the Yankees done? That's where they've been better. And what they've done in that rotation behind Verlander, who's gone. But look at what they have at the top of that rotation now with the guys who were so good in the World Series, so dynamic in the World Series. Not to mention their bullpen. They are clearly still way ahead of the Yankees. The Yankees have a lot of catching up to do. And listen, they kept their guys, so this is a good day for the Yankees. They placated their fans, but when you step back, all you have is the same team you had last year that disappointed you. Now it's time to go to work. Judge is back, check. Rizzo's back, check. Now go to work. Now it's time to build a team. All you've done is kept status quo. And guess what? Status quo wasn't good enough. It hasn't been good enough. It won't be good enough if the goal is the World Series. Not with Houston doing what they do year after year. So if you're a Yankee fan today, I know you're happy. Some of you are, overjoyed. You won't be overjoyed with this contract 6 or 7 years from now, but that doesn't matter. There's going to be plenty of home runs, plenty of great moments from Judge before that. No one can discount that. But there has to be big postseason moments. And those have been few and far between. And that's what has to change. So if this team can take a little bit of a breather today because they kept the worlds from falling in, but all they did was keep the status quo. Now they got to get to work. Enjoy the day.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Francesa podcast on the Bet Rivers Network.